Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's been a little while, so I figured I'd catch up with everybody and see what's going on. We'll give it a couple of minutes and see if anybody shows up. Hey, Brian, how's it going? John, good to see you. Hey, Tammy. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me, Kim?
Yeah, I gotta get on the live stream. I just now got the notification.
Can you guys hear me? I don't think they can hear me. I'm going to have to plug in my headphones. Can you hear me now? I had to plug in my headphones. I don't know what's going on with my phone, but it's being temperamental. Right? A little too early in the day to start the actual party, but I just wanted to hop in here and see how everybody's doing. We got a horrendous thunderstorm last night, and it's still raining now, so there's not much that we can do outside today. So, just hanging out and checking in. Anything interesting going on with anybody? Hey Kim, can you turn your volume down? They're getting a little
I already
echo.
did.
Okay, thank you. That can be a good thing, Jay. That can be a good thing. Oh, thanks, Shining TV. I'm doing good. Um, just kind of stuck in the house today because of the weather, and thought I'd start up a live stream and check in with people and see how everything's going. Oh, we got a horrendous storm last night. We had thunder, lightning. It downpoured for quite some time. I love a good storm, so it was relaxing to me. But um, and then today, everything is flooded, puddles everywhere, still raining. Can't really get outside and get much accomplished. So just decided to hang out and drink some coffee and see what you guys were up to. Oh, Mother Nature is definitely confused this year. I mean, we went from, what was it, almost negative 30 or more last week, and now it's in the 50s and storming, and then it's going to freeze, then it's going to snow, then it's just crazy. We have no snow left, Tammy. We have nothing. It is all gone. A couple of little places where people had their driveways plowed or something, where it piled up a little bit, is still left. But other than that, you would not recognize it down here anymore from when you guys were here, and it was snowing and blowing and below zero. You would not recognize it anymore. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you. Oh yeah, Cindy. We got a dog that he doesn't mind the rain and whatnot, but every time the thunder rumbles, he likes growling and barking at the thunder. There, I'll show you. You remember what it was like less than a week ago when you were here? Check this out. No, you won't get stuck in the driveway now unless it's in a unless it's in the mud. Wow, yikes. That's a lot of snow. I'm used to heavy snow because I'm from northern Michigan, up in the Traverse City area, is where I spent most of my time. I moved down here 6, 7 years ago, and I mean the weather down here is normally mild to me. Last week was the worst temperature-wise weather I've seen since I moved down here. Um, wow, that's a lot of snow in one night. Shining. That brings back a memory when I was a kid. I lived up in the UP, um, in the Sault Ste. Marie area, and the area I lived, we used to get such bad snowstorms that you would actually have to climb out the second story window to get down out to get outside to be able to go shovel out the door. Um, yeah, wow, that's that brings back memories. Oh, here I am again. Hey guys, just leave him alone. Leave 2.0 alone. I'm not worried about it. Just don't worry about him. Nah, Jada, just leave him alone. I know, itchy thumb, but the person has nothing better to do. Um, Not only do they have nothing better to do, apparently, but they don't even have enough guts to use their own. It's just somebody trying to cause drama. Just don't worry about them.
Hello?
Very true, Shining. Very true.
Yes, this is. Doing all right. Um, what I called. Go ahead. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't pronounce it.
I know,
I can't
Tammy.
pronounce it.
I know, Tammy. Hey, Southside
Right.
Slacker. I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
All right. I have 1 day left.
Um, Southside. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or not, but I'm not in Texas. I'm in northern Indiana.
Okay then. All righty. Thank you.
I'm in northern Indiana. I wish I was in Texas, but nope. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I didn't quite catch that comment right, but yeah. I wish I was in Texas. just for the hunting and fishing alone, if not the weather.
Yes, I do, hon. I missed my January appointment. Something came
Hi,
up and I forgot
Constitutional
all
Kim.
about
Good to
it.
see you. How are you? All right. Have a good day, Shining.
Afternoon. No, I'm not a morning person.
I am good, Kim. Thank you. Loving the weather. It was 40 degrees below zero, 30 and 40 degrees below zero with the wind chill last week.
Thank you, hon.
And we had a foot of snow and blowing and miserable. And this week we're in the 50s and all the snow melted. And we actually had a thunderstorm last night. Uh, I must not be feeling well today if I'm leaving already, but don't let the door hit you, 2.0. Yeah, it's kind of blah here today too. It's really damp out, just the air. It's cool and damp and it stormed and rained to the point where we couldn't see out the windows for a good hour plus last night. Thunder, lightning. It was awesome. I love a good storm, but uh, the dog and Kim aren't real fond of it. So that was, you know, I didn't catch that. I'm not sure if I know who that is, Brian. I'll have to check on that. I remember up in uh, up in Frankfurt a couple years before I moved down here. It was December or January. There was a whiteout snowstorm, and there was lightning going at the same time. And it was just, I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was just wild. You'd be standing there and you couldn't see, 5, 6 feet in front of you. And then all of a sudden the lightning would pop and it was just like everything just kind of turned bright white for a second. It was amazing. I wish I could have filmed it, but that was before I knew anything about it. So I'll check that out, Brian. Do you have a? I'm getting horrible notifications and stuff. Do you have a estimated time? Wait a minute. You know what? I might know who you're talking about. Did she go around? Did she do a video a while back of 8 p.m.? It's 1:15 now. Yep, it's 1:15 here too. So we're on the same time schedule. Okay, cool. About 8 p.m. Awesome. Um, did she do a chalking video a while back with a couple other ladies? That is awesome, Tammy. Um, hey, you ever get you ever get to the point where you need to run away for a minute and need a recharge of the mental batteries again? Our door is always open. You are always welcome to come down here and hang out for a few days or a day or a few hours or whatever you need. Our door is always open to you, Tammy. We are actually, I think there's actually two different time zones in Indiana, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's two different time zones in Indiana. I think it's split. We are, we're pretty close to Chicago. We're about 10 or 15 minutes from the Michigan border. So, but from what I understand, um, hey, everybody's welcome, Tammy. Um, Okay, yeah. Tammy confirmed it for me there. There's two different time zones in Indiana. I think there's about an hour difference, but we are in the same time zone as Michigan. I'll be right back, guys. I got to go make a cigarette. Okay, I'm back. Oh. Yeah, that daylight savings thing. I think they ought to get rid of that because it's just a pain in the butt. I mean, I believe daylight savings was originally done for, if I'm not mistaken, which I could be, but I believe that was originally for farmers and whatnot. So they'd have more daylight. I mean, with modern technology and everything, I really don't think it benefits anybody anymore. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Does it? Hey, Tommy Brown, how are you? Good to see ya. Okay, let me rephrase. It doesn't affect me or doesn't make much of a difference for me. All it does is uh, confuse me at times. Hey, Cindy, uh, do you change? Do you mean do I change? Well, yeah, I have to keep up with the rest of the world. I don't have a choice, but um, if that's what you meant about the time, yes, our time um, changes an hour in the spring and fall. Oh, I did not know that, Cindy. Indiana's weird. It's got a couple different time zones. Some change, some don't. That's Indiana's an odd state. We were just talking about that a minute ago, Cindy. That there's a couple different time zones in Indiana. Um, I did not know that part of it changed and part of it didn't. That's got to get, I don't know, that's got to get weird. Oh, maybe that's why we have two different time zones in Indiana. because one part changes and part doesn't. I guess that makes Indiana like a broken clock. It's correct twice a year? I don't know. Wow. Yeah, I'll have to look at that sometime. I didn't realize that. I thought Canada was all on the same time zone. I mean, I guess parts of Canada, that are uninhabited and back in the middle of nowhere, I guess it really doesn't make a difference, but yeah, constitutional Kim, I know a broken clock is right twice a day. I was making making a joke about Indiana. Indiana is correct twice a year, or yeah. I guess I didn't think that one through very well first, but I thought it was funny, so that's what counts. Hey, Mystery, how are you? Good to see you. Ah, that's awesome, Tammy. Yeah, Mystery, we were just sitting having a chat, catching up. We had a major storm last night, thunder and lightning and pouring rain, and so it's kind of still kind of raining now, so it's doing anything outside isn't really high on the priority list. So I thought I'd sit down and catch up with everybody. Ah, Shanna, thank you for joining. Don't, try not to work too hard. Tommy, I have some things. I have some things planned, but it's not something I can really discuss in here. You guys will have to wait for the videos and the live streams. Right, Brian? Okay, Mystery. See you in a minute. Oh, that's cool, Cindy. I'm not sure where either of those places are. I've never heard of that, Brian. Getting my sugar fix, guys. Talk to you later, Tammy. Have a wonderful day. Hey, Matt. Here you go, Tammy. There's one to take with you. Okay, Brian. Is that, and I'm probably way off the mark here, but is that kind of like the same principle as the Earth? Um, Magnetic poles, it continues to spin because, and I don't know all the science to it, but kind of something like that. Well, thank you for joining, Cindy. Have a great day. Monkey 83, how you doing, bud? Good to see ya. Bama camera. We're just chatting, see what's going on with each other, and I'm kind of stuck in the house because of some bad weather. So, your news now. How you doing? Tammy didn't take her sweetheart with her,
Oh,
so it's mine. Yoink. Really? I did not know that. I know, and I never really paid that much attention in back when I should have been learning this stuff. But from what I understand, as the Earth spins, it wobbles just a little bit, so it constantly is moving one way or another from where it originally started. But yeah, I'm not going to try to sound smart because, like I said, I didn't pay much attention when I should have. um, I guess we don't, Monkey, for 100% fact. Um, Sounds reasonable though, so I'm gonna believe that that's probably that or I've been brainwashed, one of the two. But it does sound reasonable, so I kind of go ahead and go with it. Community Media News. Hello, how are you? Good to see ya. I think you missed Tammy. She had to run off. I wouldn't put it past them to have lied to us about that too, Monkey. Pretty much anything the government or they say, I kind of expect to be a lie. Space bubbles. Okay. Whoa. Whew. Sorry, that was a strong sweetheart. Wow. Mm. Anybody got any big plans? I don't know. Oh, wow. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. I'll have to check that out. We missed you, Mystery. Yikes. That's kind of scary, Brian. Oh, Kim in Georgia. What movie are they filming there? Do you know? Oh, oh, I'm sure. I can't see the dislikes on my screen, but I'm sure there's about three of those in there also. I always, my fan club. I think you guys are all familiar with my fan club. Jumanji 2. Oh, wow. I'll have to check that out. What? No dislikes yet? Huh. Wonder where my fan club is today.
It might be busy.
Right? Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into this, but just so everybody knows, my court dates have been all changed around and everything. My most recent arrest, the charges have now been sent from the city court to county court. They're gonna try me in county court for the most recent arrest. However, the city court is still violating me and charging me in the city court. So I go to city court for the violation approximately 3 months before I go to county court for the actual charge. So we'll see how that works out in the end. Okay. Be right back, guys. Okay, I'm back. I made two that time while I was gone, so now I got two cigarettes. Sorry, let me catch up with chat. Really, Bama? Air conditioning? Hmm.
Okay, back to garden. Take care, all.
See you later, mystery. Jeez.
Must be nice.
Right? Actually, we're probably pushing 50 today. We're around somewhere between 40 and 50 today, which is, I mean, I think like a heat wave since a week ago it was 40 below, 30 to 40 below. So I'm not going to complain, but it's hard to figure out what to wear the next day because you know, one minute it's 50 degrees and raining, and then the next minute it's 30 below and snowing, and
Mother Nature's really messed up right now.
interesting question, Brian. Um, I don't know. Oh, hey guys, let me just show you something. Wait a minute. Yeah, I was I do a lot of fishing. Matter of fact, as soon as the weather nicens up, a lot of these live streams that I do will be down fishing. But it was a few years back. I was fishing, and you know, I was jigging off the boat. I was fishing on the boat over. We were fishing for crappie over a brush pile, and I caught a mermaid. I never really believed in them until I actually caught one. Um, you know, I felt a little pull on the line, and I pulled it up out of the water. It was all tangled up in brush and fishing line and stuff, but I just wanted to show you guys. Caught a mermaid.
Can't see it.
What do you mean you can't see it?
Oh, now I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I caught a mermaid. Um, if you're talking to me, Monkey, I might have missed yours. 'Oh, I would love to. You're in you're ocean fishing, aren't you, Monkey?
2.0 must have left. I haven't seen him in there for a while.
I would love to go ocean fishing. I've done all my, you know, I've done a lot of fishing in my life. Oh, that is sweet, Monkey. I would love that. That would, you'd never get me. I'd be constantly fishing, and I mean, I guess it might wear off after a while, but you know, I've spent most of my life fishing the Great Lakes, the inland lakes in Michigan, the rivers for salmon and steelhead. So you know, I've caught a lot of nice fish, but just the thought of fishing in the salt water and knowing that, I mean, it could be anything from a, you know, a 2 pound uh, 2 pound, I can't think of the names of some of the different fish, but up to a 200 pound sailfish, or I mean, just the variety would just keep me going for days and days and days. Wow. Biggest fish I've ever caught was a. We didn't get a specific weight on it, but we measured it, and it was 6 foot 5 inches. It was a sturgeon. I imagine it was around 200 pounds or so. But my normal fish up in Michigan were anywhere from 8 to 30 pounds salmon and steelhead. Um, a majority of the fish I fish for and catch are walleye, panfish, um, I've been fishing a lot of catfish since I moved to Indiana. I shoot carp with a bow. Um, I don't really intentionally fish for them with a fishing pole because they're fun to catch, but they do a lot of damage to tackle and equipment and line. And so those mainly I spear or shoot with a bow because I guess some people eat them. I've never tried one. Monkey, I haven't got any real big ones since I've been here. The average catfish we catch down here in the area I'm in the spot that I fish, is 10 to 15 pounds. Yes, that is correct, Monkey. They are also freshwater now, though. It was, I believe, back in the 50s. The Great Lakes had a severe problem with alewives, which are a small 4 or 5 inch fish, and they come in the springtime and in the summer, and there were so many of them dying because after they spawn, they die, and they were littering the beaches and smelling up the high class neighborhoods and stuff around the beaches. So back in the 50s, they planted salmon in the Great Lakes to try to help control the alewife population. So we now actually have, well, we have for years, but we actually have freshwater salmon in the Great Lakes. They come into the rivers and creeks and stuff to spawn. They live out there all year, all year. Oh wow. Oh yeah, Brian. Yeah. Oh okay. I didn't know that. I thought stripers were. I didn't realize stripers were a saltwater fish that were transplanted. Yes. Yes, Monkai. I did know that originally. The all the salmon species were originally saltwater. I heard a rumor, and I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Years back, I heard a rumor that there was actually a shark um, that was found in, I don't remember if it was Lake Michigan or if it was one of the other Great Lakes, but I did hear a rumor that somebody had found a shark. I know the bull sharks can travel a long ways. Oh yeah, yep. And I think that's, I know salmon are not and I don't know the specific word for it, but salmon, once they reach breeding age or spawning age and they spawn, all species of salmon die after they spawn. Um, and I'm not sure if that's because that's just the way nature made them because they go from saltwater to freshwater, or I'm not sure the exact reasoning, but I do know once a salmon reaches a breeding age and they spawn, they die afterwards. They don't go back out and live. Steelhead do, they survive and go back out into the main lakes. Brown trout, um, a lot of other different ones do, but I know all the, what is it, trying to think of, I've been out of the game for years now, but there's king salmon, coho, pink salmon, and I know I'm forgetting a couple there, but there's about 5 different species that we have in the Great Lakes, and all of them, once they reach breeding age, they travel upriver anywhere from a mile to, I mean, there's places where they go 30 or 40 miles upriver to spawn, and then they die afterwards. Excuse me. Oh, that's amazing, Brian. The one sturgeon that I caught, it was off the pier in Manistee, Michigan. Um, Tommy, steelhead is a rainbow trout. It's a rainbow trout that migrates from the Great Lakes up into the rivers to spawn and then back out. It's just a migrating rainbow trout. But the one sturgeon I caught, we were steelhead fishing in the spring off the pier in Manistee, and we saw it swimming around by the pier. And I took a big piece of fish, put it on the hook, and threw it out there, and ended up catching him. That was the mouth of the Manistee River, which is Tippy Dam. You go up a few miles. It's the big Manistee River and the little Manistee River. There's Tippy Dam is as far up as they can really migrate. But a lot of them go into the little Manistee River, which the DNR has fish weirs set up that they collect them and take the spawn. And yeah, I'm talking about the Great Lakes one. I've never fished Alaska. I'm talking about the steelhead in the Great Lakes, which overgrown rainbow trout. In the springtime, they come up into the rivers and the streams and stuff, and then they spawn, and then they'll go back out into the Great Lakes. Um, Something I do miss though, when I was younger, my grandpa used to take me fishing on Lake Michigan. We'd go out offshore in Lake Michigan and fish the rock piles and stuff and catch massive, I mean massive perch, yellow bellied perch. Um, but after I don't know, it was some years, but the zebra mussels infested a lot of the rock piles and areas in the Great Lakes, and now it's very hard to find um, good amounts of large perch in the Great Lakes anymore. Wow, that's big, Brian. From what I don't know anymore. This was a few years back, but when I was living in the northern Michigan, um, the state record brown trout was caught in the area I lived in, and it was just over 50 pounds. It was actually mistaken as a king salmon for quite some time. The guy had it mounted and everything, and he had always apparently considered it a king salmon until somebody saw it and before he had it mounted, of course, he mistook it for a king salmon, and he was in the cleaning one of the cleaning stations getting ready to cut it up, and somebody mentioned to, hey, that's a big brown trout, and he's like, no, it's a salmon. And of course there was a little bit of back and forth, but then they called in the natural resources biologist and found out it was a brown trout, and they weighed it, measured it, and everything. And as far as I know, it is still the state record for Michigan brown trout, and it was over 50 pounds. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Brian. Um, we had a very big, fishing out of Lake Michigan, either out in the lake or in the rivers. Um, they seem to go all different sizes. We would get anything from 3 pound steelhead up to 25 and 30 pound. I mean, a 30 pound steelhead where I spent most of my time fishing was a large steelhead. Um, they also have a hybrid, uh, and I'm not sure if it's a hybrid or not, but it's called a Skillmania, um, that were planted, and it's a rainbow trout, and it's a migrating rainbow trout. I don't really know a whole lot about them. I was never lucky enough to find them, um, but I did hear a lot about them when I was up there. Like I said, I never got lucky enough to find them, but apparently it's a rainbow trout that was basically bred and um, stocked from someplace. I don't even, I want to say Wisconsin, but I'm not sure. And then they just kind of took off and started spreading everywhere. World record brown trout. Okay, maybe I could have swore, and I'll have to check that out. It's Frankfort, Michigan. Frankfort, Michigan is where that brown trout that I was talking about was caught, and I could have swore they said it was like 50. It's actually on the wall in a bar in Frankfort, Michigan. It was caught. I'm guessing 10 years ago now. I might be mistaken on the size, but I could have swore that I was told it was 50 pounds. I'll have to check into that a little bit more, but it was uh, it was Frankfort, Michigan, where the fish was caught. And that's got me curious now. I'll have to Google that after I'm done here. See if I can find what the state record brown trout for Michigan is. Yeah, I can't wait for the weather to get a little bit nicer because there's a power dam now probably less than half a mile from my house, and it is the St. Joe River, and I fish down there a lot in the summertime. I get a lot of crappie. The walleye fishing is pretty good at times. Catfish. I can't wait to get back down there and start doing some more fishing. It's half tempting to grab a fishing pole and get down there now, but I don't know how well anything's going to be biting down there right now. There's a little bit of well, actually now it's probably opened up, but there has been some ice floes floating around in there. Roger Helen of Franksville, Wisconsin, 41.5 pounds. He caught in 2010. Okay, cool. Thank you, Brian. I must have misunderstood the weight, but um, can you check the Michigan state record for brown trout? I'm on my only access to phone. I've got to wait until I get out of here to be able to look it up. But if you have another phone or computer or something, can you see what the record brown trout for Michigan is and where it was caught? Oh, okay. I'll check into it. I'll check into it later. Actually, all this talk has got me really itching to go fishing now. I might grab a fishing pole and head down to the dam and jig for some crappie or walleye or something. Weather's, I got a rain jacket so I can stay dry. It's not that cold out. I don't know what my odds of catching anything are, but it'd be fun just to go do it. It's been a while. Oh, Eric's live? Yeah, we're at we're at about an hour. I didn't realize it had been that long. Um, yeah, I want to go check out and see what Eric's up to too. I love watching him. He's amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down, and I'll catch up with you all later. Thanks for hopping in and just having a good chat. And I will see you on some other streams and in some other chats soon. I hope everybody have a wonderful day and stay safe. Thanks, guys and ladies.